The beginning of this video is out of focus, not because I forgot to set it before, but because Brandon's perspective of Legion in and of itself is out of focus. Hello everyone and welcome to another video and another one of these watching the last episode of a series as your first episode, because Brandon here has never seen a single episode of Legion and we just watched the series finale tonight, and I figured this would be a fun one to do, even more so than Game of Thrones, because this show is wild. It is a trippy, weird, chaotic show. So if you haven't seen it, we will be talking about spoilers for the finale and for the series as well. So if you have not seen it, don't watch this video. But if you have, if you're a fan of Legion, let's get an outside perspective, because this show, on a scale from 1 to 10, how weird was this episode for you?
How weird? Probably, I mean, yeah, it was up there, probably like 9-ish. But it was extremely confusing. That's for sure.
The entire show is confusing, but this one, like, it does such a great job at, like, the last 3 episodes of each season really puts everything together, but without any context of what in the world is going on with these characters. It can be kind of confusing because you don't really know what each character wanted, but, like, in terms of the show and how it was made, it's weird, huh? Like, there's a random musical number in this episode, which they don't do too often.
Yeah, I was just... Was the tone how it usually is?
Yeah, 100%.
Then I don't think I would like the show.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoyed the Game of Thrones finale more than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm shocked. I thought you'd like this one better.
No, honestly, I found it, I don't want to say boring.
Oh, how can you...
but it was really slow to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it, I don't know. It's watching it's the final, episode of a series, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know any characters. I don't know what it's about at all. I know there's time travel involved. But honestly, like, the style of the show and the look of the show, I wasn't that big of a fan of.
See, that is definitely one that I understand, because it takes a while to get used to it. They do a lot of the action sequences, especially with that one character, KERRY, hold on, do you understand anything that happened with KERRY at all? I'm curious, because I feel like that's what you'd be the most lost of any character.
No,
You know who the KERRYs are, right? The girl and the guy, the older guy who was in the wheelchair, and the one with the sword.
So they were both KERRY.
They were both KERRY. They're the same. They're 2 different people, but in the same body. And so the older one is older because she lived inside of him for most of the time, and she only ages when she's outside of the body.
Okay.
And so when they switched and he was inside of her,
right,
that's why she aged so fast.
Okay.
So, like, that's one of the coolest, most obscure X-Men powers that I've seen on screen, because I love how they take such weird characters, because you didn't get to see anything with, oh gosh, what's her name? The one with David at the end, but the character, her name's escaping me, but her power basically is if she touches someone, she'll switch bodies with them, or really minds. She'll switch minds. Okay. So she'll live in that body for a while. You didn't get to see any of that, but the show does a great job of taking these weird, obscure X-Men characters and putting them on screen in this trippy, weird, almost psychedelic show.
Yeah, and see, and that type of stuff I'm not a big fan of, so I don't think I would have really...
You've totally been out of focus. That's fine.
I don't...
Like the show.
Thematically,
he was out of focus on the show.
With that type of, with that type of style of the show, I just don't think I would have really liked the show.
Mm-hmm.
But
I told you to watch the first episode, and like I've told this to several people. Watch the first episode of the show. If you don't like it, I would be forgiving if you stop there. Because usually I do a 3-episode rule for TV shows. If I'm not into it by episode 3, I'm out. But this show is so stylistic and weird, and its editing is incredible. I think they do a lot of the show is created in editing. I can't imagine being on set and getting the script for the actors and being like, all right, when, where, and what in the world is going on?
Yeah, but see, I don't pay attention to that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm more of a... I don't know. I guess I'm more of the normal viewer with TV shows and with movies. And so if it's not... If the story isn't... I guess... I don't want to say simple, but straightforward.
Yeah.
Right? But see, I like shows like Lost, right? Mm-hmm. So it... I don't know.
I would say Lost is more straightforward than this show.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, you don't know what's going on in each season until at least episode 6, which is crazy for them to do. But how do you get tied up for a series finale? Did this feel like a series finale to you?
No.
Really?
No, it didn't. But again, I don't know the characters.
Okay.
So it just felt like... Honestly, if everything that they did felt pointless and felt... I didn't really understand, like...
why they're resetting everything. Because basically, what happens in the end is they reset the timeline. Nothing in the entire show ends up happening. Right. Which is a very gutsy thing for them to do in a show like this. Like, Lost could have made that same
and
twist.
I wouldn't have liked it.
Exactly, but I think this show does it well. And coming from someone who's a huge fan of the show, I thought it really worked. But basically, what happened in the show that kind of turned it around, that was crazy for me, is the first season, David is definitely a hero. He has this monster living inside him, the Shadow King, or... the villains, the two villains. He was living inside because Professor X basically defeated him in the past, but he thought he killed him, but he didn't. And so he went over and basically went inside David's mind. And not knowing that he was also a psychic, David, mixing with his mind, it basically made him schizophrenic and made him... when all those Davids were coming out attacking him, that was all his personalities.
Okay.
And so he was definitely a very damaged and dark person. In Season 2, they made him the villain, which is a huge, huge thing. That was very unexpected of me. And Season 3, he was really the villain of the show. And so when the one girl helped him in the end, he was surprised because he really hurt her in a way in Season 2. So I thought just having everything be reset worked for me because I had all that background knowledge. But when you have an ending where they are resetting the timeline, nothing happened in the show, I can't see how that's very...
Yeah, honestly, it felt like in this episode nothing happened, right? And it just all felt like... Honestly, I was so disinterested in this that...
This is not the reaction I was expecting at all.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was just bored.
I don't know how you're bored.
And it's just no background. And I think the style of the show didn't work for me. Even Game of Thrones, like, it was slow for me, but that was a very different episode from all of the other episodes.
Yeah. Because the Game of Thrones definitely had its share of, like, giant battle episodes. This was probably one of the more action-packed episodes of Legion.
Yeah, see, and then I wouldn't like it at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just not my type of show. And
it's definitely a character story. It's a character show. Watching the finale without any of that character development.
And it's like, I do like a character development show. You know, like, there is Lost, and there's a bunch of shows that I've watched in the past that... And usually with shows, it is focused on character development. But honestly, these characters just felt boring to me.
Okay.
I didn't really connect to any of them. And again, it's the finale, so that's not the purpose of the episode. But yeah, it didn't work for me. Whereas for whatever reason, Game of Thrones, it still worked a little bit. It didn't work. It didn't exactly work, but it
If you go back and watch that Game of Thrones video, he definitely was not the biggest fan.
But no, but it was some of the decisions that they had made, right?
That irritated.
Whereas this, it's not that. It's just I was bored.
Okay.
Whereas Game of Thrones, I was actually into it because I was like, well, this is stupid. You know?
Yeah.
Whereas this, it was like, I have no idea what's going on. I don't care about any of these characters. I don't care about how this ends. And so it didn't work.
Okay. That is honestly completely fair. Everything, I don't disagree with you at all, especially thinking without any of the context. I thought this would be a very good experiment because of all the context you need for this show.
It was very interesting, the differences between this and the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It was very interesting.
Very different experiences.
Yeah. I didn't like either of the episodes, though. That's the one common thing with
I think
with
my
so
goal,
far.
I might go back and watch some other shows I haven't watched and have you watch the finale and see if I can find one that
I mean, we could honestly both do, like, Breaking Bad.
I want to do the 100 with you. You finish the series, I'll watch the series finale.
Yeah, but the series doesn't end until next year, so...
That is true. That's the investment. Subscribe. See that in a year. If you don't like me by the end of the year, then you can unsubscribe.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I need to catch up on season 6. So...
Yeah.
Or 5. Wait, what season are they? Oh, God, I have no idea.
I'd like to do Breaking Bad, though. Even though I know what happens at the end of Breaking Bad, I have never done this before. I've never been in UFC.
I've seen the first 3 episodes of Breaking Bad, and...
I've seen one scene somewhere in season 1.
I'm trying to think of another show.
If you have any suggestions...
Honestly, Cobra Kai, the last episode of Cobra Kai, if you watch that...
Season 2?
Yeah. That would be a good one to kind of switch roles.
Yeah. Do you guys, like, also comment below if you don't want us to only do series finales, even like a normal finale like Cobra Kai. I feel like that could be
or even a
too.
movie series, like, I
I don't want to sit down and watch all of Return of the King.
Well, I was gonna say maybe the last movie of Lord of the Rings.
That movie's like 3 hours.
But yeah, right. I don't want to do that.
And plus, I want to actually watch those movies. So
yeah, I have no interest in watching any of those movies. I don't know. I can't really think of anything that we haven't seen, but there's a bunch that we haven't seen. So like,
so
I
we're
just
down a
can't
bunch
think
of
of them.
suggestions. But really, is that all you have to say about this Legion finale?
Yeah, honestly, it was just boring. That's
fair.
If I had to describe in one word, I was bored.
Okay. I definitely figured you would be weirded out.
No,
not really.
No, I guess I just
Those
didn't.
Little time demons.
I couldn't be weirded out because I didn't understand anything.
Yeah. I do think like stylistically how they rewind things and do like a bunch of like I'm telling you the editing in the show is so good of how they demonstrate time is awesome. So if you want to see my full review, I will be doing a review as well. I think I'll have this one up first. Review coming out probably tomorrow as of uploading this. So if you want to see my full thoughts on this series and how it wrapped up, I will have that as well because I'm a huge fan. I thought this ended perfectly for this show. And obviously because I'm a fan of this show, it's definitely an ending for this show. It wouldn't fit with any other. This is a weird show. This is a trippy show. Like there was a random giant toothbrush. Like he pulled up a goldfish out of his ear. I think that was the first thing you saw of this show.
Yeah, I think that immediately took me out of it.
Yeah. I honestly have no idea why he pulled a goldfish out of his ear. That's why I started laughing. I had no idea why. There was nothing in the entire series to explain why he pulled a goldfish out of his ear at the first scene of the series finale.
Yeah.
That is a mystery for me.
Weird.
If you know, comment below.
I figured it was some type of
reference to something.
Yeah.
No, it's just a goldfish.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys.
That was weird.